Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Junk Journal with me. So today I am doing another little journaling session in my junk journal, and I really wanted to get a couple of these episodes filmed for you guys because I'm going away this week and I wanted to have a couple that I could put up while I'm away. So as usual, I start out trying to choose a page that I want to work on, and usually I just choose by whatever page is kind of speaking out to me for whatever reason, or sometimes it depends on the type of things that I have that I want to put into my journal. So I started out with this pink page, and I pulled out this scrap of it's like a dressmaker pattern envelope, and it had already been cut into, and I wanted to use the ladies on it as decoration just to break in the page. And so I cut them all out, and then I'm going to back them here with some cardstock paper because I really wanted them to kind of overhang the page a little bit, and I just needed to make them a little bit stronger so they weren't going to get all messed up if they hung over the page. So that's all I'm doing here. I just backed them to the paper and then recut that paper out, and then I'm just fiddling around with where I'm going to stick it. So at that point I realized I didn't want to use the pink page because I just felt like with those ladies it looked a little bit too girly for me, and I couldn't decide on which page I was going to use, so I just started moving on to the next thing, which is this little note and drawings from my son that my husband helped him do for me. And so I took them out of the notebook and I took off the back or the front of the notebook so that I could put them all together and have like a bit of card on the back that would make it a little bit stronger. And then I decided that I was going to cover over that back or front, I can't remember if it was the back or the front of that little notebook, just to make it look a little bit cuter. So I put one side, I put a sheet of the paper from the little notebook, and then on the other side I used a little bit of that dressmaker pattern instructions and just backed it and cut it out. So I had this idea that I was just going to put all of those sheets of paper together in order on top of this little piece of card, and then it would be kind of like a little tag booklet thing. So I put them back into order, and then I go ahead and I use my, what are they called? My crocodile to put a hole in the top of that, and then I put an eyelet in it, and that just holds all of those sheets together so that it's kind of like a little booklet, and I didn't have to bind it or anything like that. Because I really wanted to put those notes into my journal, but I definitely didn't want to put the entire notebook into my journal because it would have been extremely bulky. So yeah, I'm just adding a little bit of twine through the eyelet, and it makes kind of like a cute little tag that you can flip through. So I really like how that turned out. And then I ended up choosing this page to start working. I chose this page because that envelope fit so well on that tiny little mini page, and I decided just to jump in and get started instead of fussing around with what page I was going to use because it was slowing me down for sure. And this little thing that I have here is from a magazine, but I actually got it from an old journal that I found, and I took the journal apart because I never finished using it. I'd only used a couple of pages in it. So I decided to put these pictures into my current journal just because I still really love them and I think they're really cute. So I just trimmed them down so that I could put them into my journal just as decoration, I suppose. I kind of feel like they're fitting to me and us here in Australia because we've just ended autumn and we're going into winter, and these pictures really reminded me of autumn, so yeah. The other thing I have here is just a little sketch of a journal design that I had in my head that I wanted to draw out, and it was just done on some scrap paper, so I just trimmed it out and decided to stick that into my journal. Then I put those other pictures of those little ladies, those illustrations, down the edge of that page as well. I really just didn't want to waste them. I wanted them to be in something, and because I took that journal apart, I didn't want to just like stuff it away somewhere or put it in my scrap drawer or throw it away, so I just put it straight into my current journal. Now I think I'm going to try and work out where I want to put these ladies, and I do end up sticking them to this vellum sheet, but I'm not sure if I do it straight away. But I really wanted them to overhang the page. Like I said before, I still wanted to do that no matter which page I ended up working on. So this is another little page from the old journal that I found, and this was one of the pages I had filled out a couple of years ago. So I didn't want to waste it, so I decided to try and fit it into this current journal that I have, and I just added it in like some extra pages with some wide washi tape. And it was kind of just like a card because it was a folded piece of paper that was in an old journal, so by adding the washi tape on either side, it just kind of added two extra pages into my journal. I was just fiddling around with the washi tape trying to get it right into that little crevice so that it would be in nice and strong, and then I just reinforced it with some floral washi tape just because I wasn't sure how well that wide washi tape was going to stick it down because I had lifted it and re-stuck it down. But that's in there pretty well, and then I am going to move on to the next thing, which I think is the ladies, I hope, but I'm not sure. I only did this page yesterday, but I already forget. I just kind of get lost in the process of journaling and just do whatever I feel like doing, so I do forget what I did. But I was going to stick this illustration down, and because it was double-sided, I decided instead just to fold it like a card again so that I didn't have to glue down any of those illustrations and lose any of them. If I folded it, it was just a card that was double-sided that I could keep all of those pictures. Here I'm just using some scrap junk mail envelope and creating a pocket on top of that page that I stuck into my journal. So just using double-sided tape on the edges to create the pocket, and yeah, I just like doing this because of the windows that you get in the junk mail envelopes. It just looks really interesting when you tuck something behind it and you can kind of half see it peeking through. So I was just folding up the edge there where a little bit had overlapped the page, where there was a little bit of double-sided sticky tape hanging over, just so it wouldn't get stuck to anything. And now I'm just going to start working on the vellum sheet. So as well as sticking the ladies, I was just going to put the little scrap of pattern instructions along the top, and then I'm going to stick those ladies beneath that. Again, I've just used some glue stick to stick those down, but I do reinforce it with staples because vellum is a really strange textured paper and it's kind of hard to work with, but it did work out just fine in the end. I did use my staples just to make sure that nothing was going to come away, and yeah, it worked really, really well. So next I just pull out my little folder full of stickers, and I've talked about these stickers in all of my process videos, but I just keep them in the folder so that I can remember to use them. And I've just got a couple of 12 by 12 sticker sheets in here that I've cut down. So I'm just going through and choosing whatever stickers I feel like fit with the page that I'm doing. They can be stickers that I like the look of, or they might have like a phrase that fits with my journaling that I'm going to put down, or the pictures or whatever is on the page. And yeah, so just stick a couple here and there just for a little bit of something extra. And then you see here these photos I've just printed out on my Canon selfie. I've got a picture of my son at the park, and then I've got a picture of my journals that I just put into my Etsy shop a couple of days ago. And I've edited them on my phone to make them look a little bit more vintage with like the light leak and stuff, those edits over the top of the photos, and I really like how they turned out. So I cut that in half so that I would have 2 separate 3x4 photos, and then I'm just fiddling around with where I want to stick them onto the page. So I wanted to stick this one of my son on the vellum, on the back of that vellum page. I used washi tape up the top and bottom, and I used a strip of double-sided tape along the middle of that photo just so that it had a couple of different adhesives keeping it onto the vellum. And then this photo of the journals, I just used double-sided tape and stuck it to the back of that little extra page that I had added in earlier. Then I kind of wanted to cover over the back of that photo that I put on the vellum because it's see-through, and I decided just to use a little bit of dressmaker pattern tissue paper so that it would be kind of still a little bit see-through, and so you could still see through the vellum, but it kind of covered up the back of that photo, or it just made it a little bit less obvious that there was a photo back there that said like Canon all over it or whatever it says. So I just tore it off along the bottom there to make it fit on the page, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add some journaling. So I just journaled here about the journal that I found and what this stuff was that I had put into my journal, and I left that page pretty much as it was in my other journal, and then I went ahead and did some journaling underneath the photo of my Etsy books and just basically journaled about my Etsy shop and the restock that I did. And then I did a little bit of writing next to this photo of my son, and I don't think I did any other journaling other than that on this page. So very minimal writing on this page, just lots of bits and pieces that I wanted to put in here. And yeah, so now I'm just going to show you the finished page. Very, very simple page, lots of random pieces that I just wanted to keep in here for different reasons. And yeah, it was really quick to do, really easy to do, and just really enjoyable and pressure free. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this process video. I will try and have another one up for you guys very, very soon. If not, there will be one in the next couple of weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed and are having a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.